This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
So a high school football season like no other about to start this week here in Mobile and across the state of Alabama. Good evening, I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan, as we get ready for another year of high school football here on UTV 44. And boy, you know, the term week to week gets thrown around a lot in sports, Dan. I mean, I think, boy, we're really kind of feeling that right now.
AOC Sports.
We're looking at week to week. I think these coaches are looking at practice to practice and maybe even hour by hour. The way this thing is playing out. And we talked about the effect it's having on this high school football season, which is now just getting underway. But obviously the bigger picture is this is a global pandemic like we've never seen in our lifetime. A lot of things are being altered and modified. And among those things would be a show like this, as you can see, mask in hand in case we need it, 6 feet apart. And of course, the high school football season too, Jim. So many questions have got to be raised. So many concerns have got to be looked at and taken care of. And both the opponents in tonight's game are doing their best.
Yeah, Terry Curtis, UMS-Wright playing host to the Baker Hornets, and we'll hear from both those coaches coming up here shortly and talk about our matchup here tonight and kind of look ahead at the season as well. And of course, Terry's got an interesting viewpoint on this. His team has been already affected by the coronavirus, and so we'll talk about that. But got Rich Myers here from AOC Sports, who is always our gracious host here for, we've been here several years now. So, you know, we talk about, we're used to talking about regular training, weightlifting, flexibility, all those things. But like, is it a little, it's got to be different in many ways this year. Like, have the kids been on a regular training schedule?
No, not really. Most of your high school, college athletes, even middle school, they missed that first really 5 months, which is, you know, they didn't get the summer strength training. They didn't get the preseason training. Spring didn't happen. You know, a lot of them are rushed right in. You know, a lot of the experts are saying, look, this could be a high injury season because a lot of the guys are not really prepared yet. But, you know, a lot of our local strength coaches have done the best they really can to try to keep them going during this situation. But, you know, a lot of things we're doing here, we're doing a lot of in-season mobility work, a lot of injury prevention, a lot of ACL prevention work. And, you know, it's just one of those things where with this COVID situation, we have to prep and plan for it. And right now we're doing the best we can. Our one-on-ones and small groups are huge right now.
You always, and I'm just guessing, you probably won't know quite yet if it is more injuries or not, because you always, at the beginning of the season, it seems like you see more injuries anyway, because that's just kind of the nature of things. So it might be a while even before you know if the numbers are significantly up after a month or so, I'm guessing.
Right. I mean, you almost got to look at it like a preseason game for the first couple of weeks.
So you know, is it more, and you're talking about, you know, ACL prevention and those things, but there's only so much you can do at this point, right?
I mean, at this point, all we can do is hope for the best, prepare them as well as we possibly can. You know, a lot of these kids didn't have interaction with their coaches, their staffs, or their other teammates. So it's going to be an interesting season.
Have you noticed, like just overall, have you noticed like people are there's more people maybe trying to be healthy that have been, you know, had their schedules changed. They're trying to maybe work out more, be healthy, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you noticed that here?
Yeah, from the parents, the kids, everybody. It is it's a big pendulum shift. Everybody's trying to be as preventative as possible.
Yeah, and I think that even goes all the way up to guys like me. I mean, we had so much time on our hands. We were socially distanced to the point it was really painful, you know, not being able to see co-workers and friends or travel much or anything like that. I think we all kind of trying to find our own way. What could we do? How could we safely try and take care of our bodies?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of one-on-one, small group. We've got a lot of online programming that we send people. Yeah. Like I've got, you know, 2 college golf teams all the way up to a lot of senior golfers that are pro level, that we do all their programming via, you know, internet, and it's working out pretty good.
You know, and I think one thing, even just being healthier overall, working out, exercising can also help build your immune system just from an overall health of your body, and like that, having a healthy immune system is probably the most important thing anybody can bank on right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So exercise does play a big part in helping to boost that up.
Yep, exercise, nutrition, all of it is
I know
coming in a big
my
play.
body's not an advertisement for this, but I've been really exercising a lot, and also exercising in a way cardio-wise and those sort of things. I haven't had the first sniffle. I haven't had the first symptom of anything since March 13th.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And being outside, all those things. Boy, it's it's never simple, but that's where we're at right now. All right. Hopefully you're not extra busy. Hopefully you're just training, continuing on with the regular training and not treating a bunch of injuries. Rich Myers here with AOC Sports. When we come back, we'll talk with Terry Curtis, UMS and Baker tonight to kick off the season here on UTV 44. Week 1 of the high school football season here on UTV 44 here at the AO Sports Training Center. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready for year number 15 on UTV 44.
Wow.
That's a long time, and we were trying to figure out, I think 21?
21 when we started on the same channel as Wayne's World. And
yeah, they would have, like, you could buy like popcorn makers, and there'd be high school football, and then there'd be other things on after that. But that's how it all got started here in Mobile. But we're back and happy to be here on UTV 44. We've got head coach Terry Curtis, the UMS-Wright Bulldogs, hosting Baker tonight, and Edwin White. We'll talk with him in a second. We'll talk a lot about him during the game as well. But let's start with you, Coach Curtis, because I think nobody's been down this path before. But so you had a positive test and had to stop your program. Had to kind of tell us how it came to be and how you've addressed it here as we get ready for week 1.
Well, we had a positive test, been over about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. 2 guys that spent the weekend together and so forth, and we thought we was good, and the Department of Health said no, that some of our other players had been around them, and there was some misunderstanding about the wording of cumulative and continuous, and so they called up and said they recommended we shut down. So when the health department pretty much tells you to do something, you pretty much follow them. So we were shut down for a week. We'd already had 1 week really. So no one else had it. No one else had been at practice with it or anything else, and we haven't had any, knock on wood, since then. So now everybody's back. We've got a couple injuries, but we're full speed. That last week just kind of put us behind a good bit, because that's a week you have a lot of contact, you work a lot on tackling and the fundamentals of tackling, and that probably worries me the most going into the game, is just that we haven't seen a lot of live action, tackling folks. Yep. So that's going to be one of the things to watch for.
And just not to state the obvious, but I mean, you're fortunate at UMS. You have some resources and some staffing there to go above and beyond just regular guidelines, and it just shows no matter how safe you're trying to be, what you're doing, it can still happen to anyone.
Well, you're exactly right, and that's the main reason we're wanting to play this football game. We're not guaranteed another day of playing, because there's going to be some people probably tomorrow that are going to have to cancel out and all. And I just felt it was very, very important to get our guys, if we can, on the field Friday, and now we're here. So hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully we'll play the whole season. But like I said, the way it's going, you don't really know. So we're going to take each game as a blessing, or each Friday, getting to Friday.
Yep.
Because like Hoover, they had someone cancel like Wednesday. But they wanted to play so bad that they still schedule someone else. So it's going to be like that probably all year. Hopefully not. Hopefully it gets better.
Right.
But our guys have done an amazing job. I guarantee you, no one. It takes us an hour about to get dressed or get undressed or whatever, because we don't put a lot of guys in there at the same time, because we're kind of cohorting the guys and not wanting them to be around a whole lot of other people and mixing up groups and swapping and changing practice and everything else. But we're wearing masks, we're staying 6 feet, social distancing, and washing our hands a lot. Yeah. So hopefully it's going to pay off.
You've got a guy that I know that is going to be very important to the fortunes of your team this year. He's with us right now, number 1, Edwin White. Can you talk a little bit about him before we get a chance to chat with him?
Well, Edwin's this will be his 4th year to start. He's been playing since he was in the 9th grade. He understands the game. But the best thing about Edwin, he works at the game. He watches probably more film than some of my coaches. I mean, they better be ready when he comes in there, because he's going to know pretty much every player on the opposing team, what they can do, how they can do it. And that makes him even better football player, and he plays on both sides of the ball, so he has no offense, he has no defense, and neither one of them are easy to do. But, Edwin's a winner. He hadn't lost many football games at UMS. He's been a part of 3 straight state championships, and now he's a senior. So, he's going to have a great year, and he's one of our leaders.
You were talking about that, Coach Curtis, and it's like, I think everybody who plays high school football, they like football. Some guys love football, but then there's those players who just really love everything about football and love the studying and all that. I mean, has it been like that for you always, or has it kind of grown as you've gone from a freshman to a sophomore to a junior and senior?
It first started when I first came to UMS and I got under Coach Curtis my 8th grade year, and then that's when it took off, when I really expanded my game. I just started watching a lot of film.
Paying off, going to Tennessee.
Now everybody's watching film of you. And what has the recruiting been like, and when did you make your ultimate decision to attend the University of Tennessee?
I made my decision in March. I visited the campus. I talked to my coaches first. I called Coach Curtis before I even committed, and I asked him what he thought about it. He loved the coaches, I love the coaches, my parents love the campus, and the education part was the most important part.
Great.
So I just thought it was the best fit for me to come in there and get a playing job early.
Stay here, Coach Curtis, stay here. Baker had some scheduling challenges tonight, so they're not going to be here. So we're going to have another segment with both Edwin and also with Coach Curtis. We'll talk more about the game, because COVID has overshadowed a bit of the fact, longest winning streak in the state, 3 straight state championships, bumping up to 5A this year. So we got football to talk about as well, and I think everybody probably enjoy hearing a little more football talk. We'll do more of that coming up right after this here in our pregame show from AOC Sports. Baker and UMS tonight from Old Shell Road. Friday Night Lights back here tonight on UTV 44. We're excited about it. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, and Edwin White. We're going to talk more about with him about the Bulldogs matchup tonight with Baker. Coach Terry Curtis of the UMS-Wright. So we said before the break, so 3 straight state championships, 8-time state championship coach, tied most of anybody in the state of Alabama history, if I'm correct. And so then the competitive balance rule bumps you up to 5A this year. You've been there before. You've had success at 5A. So that part wasn't a surprise. You had to know that was coming. But kind of think the Bulldogs will line up on Friday night no matter who they're playing. Y'all have done that for since you've been there, right?
Well, it's going it'll be different. Be new people playing. They're going to have a few more numbers, probably a little bigger, faster. Everything's going to go up a level. But our guys, they just like to compete. And we played against a lot of 6As, 7As, and good 4As, and we'll be ready for the challenge. We may not win as much or whatever, but that's okay too. You win 3 state championships, and it's time to probably play somebody different. So we're going to do that, and we're going to play hard. We're going to get after folks, and we'll see how it goes. But I put nothing by these guys. They, you know, our culture is such that we're going to play just like Baker is a 7A school. But,
right.
you know, our kids are going to go out there and compete and play hard, and there's no doubt about that. And, you know, hopefully we'll come out on top, but if we don't, we'll go back to work and get ready for the next one.
How many UMS-Wright games have we seen since we've been doing this, Dan, where it does a bigger, maybe out athletic, out numbers, and it just, it never, what you get from UMS, that never changes.
No, it doesn't seem to change, and I think one of the ways that UMS can get into a team's head a little bit is the early warm-up when the team is out on the field, no pads, right?
What are you getting at?
Not that big. It's not as big physically a team, and then the other team notices that, sees that, but there's this aura of UMS-Wright. We've seen teams get off the bus already, and they'd already lost.
Yes,
quite frankly.
Got a coach tell us that once in the playoffs.
We don't have to bring him up. Everybody needs a job. But the fact is, UMS-Wright does such a great job of winning, and always competing so well, Jim. There's a lot of teams that just don't think they can hang in on the way to the stadium.
Yep, and they always do, and then some. So what's your, you know, any different mindset from you, a senior leader on this team, coming into this year, bumping up up to 5A? What's, you know, kind of any different feelings with you and your teammates getting ready?
My leader role, it changed. I got to be more vocal, put my guys in the right spot for them to line up and compete with the other guys. It's a lot of new players and new positions, so we got to make sure everybody's in the right position. This year, I think we're going in there with determination and we want to win the region first, same goals, win the region, and then playoffs come, and then we want the ultimate goal, state championship. And I think that's still been the same mindset, 4A, 5A, it don't matter, 6A, 7A.
And, you know, you talked about your culture, and like winning is so contagious. Like it's just, you've built that since you've been there. Every time, and not, you know, it's not every team is fortunate to have that. When you step on the field, your kids expect to win, and it's one thing to say that, tell them that, but like it's ingrained as you said, part of the culture.
That's a lot of it, and I'll tell you, our guys play for each other. They've always, the way we do things, the way we do it in school, the character of these guys, they like each other, they like to hang out with each other in the locker room. And that's one of the things that bothers me this year was the social distancing, the locker room. We hadn't been able to huddle. You know, we like to huddle where people can fire each other up and look people in the eye and tell them, hey, you got to get this guy or whatever. But we haven't been able to do that. So you always worry about your team chemistry being the same. But Edwin's a perfect example. You know, he's waited his turn to be the leader. He's been a good player ever since he's been there. I'm not saying that, but he let the seniors, the older guys, do the talking and the leadership and all, but they always knew that he was listening, and now it's his turn to do that, and him and you know, 22 other seniors. So it's just a unique situation with all those guys, and yeah, they don't look at size, they don't look at whatever. They're going to be as strong as they can be, and they're going to play as hard as they can play. Other than that, you know, most of them are not don't want to go to college and play ball. All they want to do is play high school football, and they're going to make the most out of it. And our parents are very supportive, and even through this pandemic, you know, our kids have been great, and our parents have been even greater. We haven't had one parent call up and say, Coach, I don't feel safe for my kid coming, or you've had a couple positive tests. They've been there every day for practice or whatever we were doing, and that's a tribute to them.
Yeah, it's
going to be a great story this year.
Yeah.
UMS-Wright in 5A, if we can get through all this mess, I think it's one of the best stories we've got along the coast.
All right, we'll take a break. We got a brand new segment to end the show. Like, oh yeah, it actually, have Edwin stay with us, and he can play along as well. We'll wrap it up as we get ready for the kickoff tonight. Coach Curtis is like, oh, what is it? All right, here we go as we are close to kickoff tonight over on Old Shell Road, Cooper Stadium. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Coach Terry Curtis of the UMS-Wright Bulldogs. Edwin White, who is going to be all over the field tonight. We're going to talk with him. And, you know, you're talking about your student school body, whatever. I was there last year for a check presentation at the end of the year. And the pep rally and the little kids, and I may have had an event that kept me up a little late the night before and didn't get a lot of sleep, and those kids, they were so loud at like 8:30 in the morning on the pep rally day. I was like, that was tough. All right, so we've done some really dumb things to end the show over the years here, so I thought, well, why change it now? We'll continue to do it.
I would say you have.
Well, you're part of it. So the new segment is called Like It, Love It, Steer Clear of It.
Okay.
So one of the three that you have.
Right.
So we'll start right here, Dan Brennan. During the pandemic, setting up your home Wi-Fi network.
Stay clear of it.
Stay clear of it.
Stay clear of it.
I would think you could pull that off. All right, and you probably had to do this, and we did this once. Sharing your screen during a Zoom meeting.
Oh, yeah.
You can pull that off?
Love it.
I can do it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I almost made a very bad mistake with a client one time.
I must say I'm tired of Zoom meetings.
Yeah, I'm with you. Shameless on Netflix.
I watched Shameless years ago, so I'd say no, not now.
Steer clear.
Steer clear.
Yeah, I'm grinding through it. Sparkling water.
Like it.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, love it. That's all I drink. Boiled peanuts.
Yo, man, I love them.
Come on, that was a
Love
setup.
Boiled, no boiled.
Oh,
Boiled,
yeah.
love them too. Any kind of peanut.
Not gonna do it.
Steer clear of it.
Like it.
Oh, like it. Not love it, just like it?
Like it.
All right. Alabama over at 7.5 wins for the year.
Alabama, love it.
If they play all the games, for sure.
Love it?
I love it.
Love it? Okay, yeah, I guess so.
We're talking to a ball there.
And the last one, intermittent fasting.
Forget about it.
No.
No, you don't. You got to eat all day long. High school football returns tonight out here on UTV 44. Baker coming to Midtown area-ish on Old Shell Road to take on the UMS-Wright Bulldogs. UMS and Baker, our matchup to start the season. Coach Curtis, Edwin, thank you very much. Dan Brennan, Jim Cox will head up to the booth. Kickoff comes up next tonight here as we open up the 2020 season right here on UTV 44.